This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Here we go. We are approaching the pointy end of the NBL season, and one of these teams desperately needs to win this game, and the other one, well, the season's practically over. You can take a guess by the look of those odds. It's the Adelaide 36ers who need this win to be able to advance through to the finals. Well, not need it, but they probably really want it. The Illawarra Hawks on the other side, their season is done, but beware the wounded animal. I like the line here. Anything that gets into double figures, I reckon Illawarra will still put up a fight, but it's Adelaide that'll win this one. I reckon they'll do it 1-10 on the back of Robert Franks and, of course, my man Anthony Drimick for 1+3s. Enjoy the game and gamble responsibly.
You know the score. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
These are two teams hungry for a win. We wait to see who can step up. Franks with a long three. Oh, yes.
Ding, ding! Oh, look out! Ferocious throwdown from Ding Ding. Adelaide needs something special. What about that?
If you want a guy to have the ball in his hands, it's Mr. Tyler Harvey.
Now Harvey, he likes to look at the three ball. You gotta love it, Hooli.
Having won 4 straight games at home, the 36ers are the talk of the town. And tonight, a second straight sellout crowd is arriving, hoping to see Adelaide defeat Illawarra for a 3rd straight time this season and move from outside the playoff picture up to as high as 5th on the NBL ladder. Antonius Cleveland goes up against his former Hawks teammates, and there are plenty of stars to look forward to, with Sydney setting the pace on the ladder and Adelaide looking to get themselves up into the playoff game. We've got 3 of the top 10 scorers in the competition here with us tonight. It should be a good one. Hi everyone, I'm John Casey. Great to have you with us here on a Friday night with 2 teams who obviously need wins, but for very different reasons. The 36ers also trying to exercise the demons of their New Year's Eve nightmare up in Cairns, where they let an 18-point lead slip, and what looked like a win turned into a horrible defeat, and one that could prove costly as they head toward the playoffs. The Taipans found a way home. Adelaide, well, they've gone back to the videotape, looked at this, worked out what they did wrong, and as Mitch McCarron told me pre-game, well, they want this one out of the way.
Yeah, I think we were all disappointed. You know, we all expressed that differently, and, you know, CJ was probably a bit more calm than some of the players were after the game. You know, naturally we were frustrated with what we just did. You know, we felt like we built a lead and we deserved to win that one, and we had it taken away from us. So credit to them, but, you know, we've reviewed it over the next couple of days after the loss, and hopefully we've moved on, and we'll see that tonight.
NBA championship winner Ian Clark was sitting a long time on the bench in that last quarter meltdown. He's averaging 12 points a game in his 2 appearances for Adelaide and shooting the ball above 50% from 3-point territory. Expect him to have a bigger role in this game tonight against the Illawarra Hawks. And while CJ Bruton has an embarrassment of riches at his disposal, it is a complete contrast for his opposite number, Jacob Jacomas, and the Illawarra Hawks, who have had horrendous injury problems all season. Their first starting point guard, Justin Robinson, didn't even last 1 game. His replacement, Peyton Seaver, is the latest to succumb to a season-ending injury, and trying to replace a player in the top 6 in the competition in assists and steals is not an easy task, as the Hawks lurch to what is potentially their worst season in NBL history. A lot on the line. Let's send it over now to our commentators, Andrew Gage, Leonard Copeland and Jack Heverin.
Thank you very much, Case, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Friday Night Hoops at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, where once again the sold-out sign is up on the front door. Fans are flocking to watch the 36ers in their droves. Let's take a look at their champion starting 5, Andrew Gaze. And good things have been happening for the 36ers since Kai Sotto has come into the starting lineup.
Well, that's right. Although he starts, he does not play starter minutes. In that loss to Cairns, he only played 11 minutes. And will we eventually see Ian Clark in that starting lineup? And like Case referred to, didn't play big minutes, but one man that does love playing against the Illawarra Hawks is Robert Franks. There you see it, 20 points per game at a very impressive 64%, 7.5 boards, and he's had his way with the Illawarra Hawks, all those numbers up on his regular season numbers.
Leonard Copeland for the Illawarra Hawks. We take a look at their starting five with thanks to champion. 2-17 on the season. A lot rests on the shoulders of that man, Sam Froling.
Absolutely, and Froling's been fantastic all year long. We forget how young he is. He's their captain, but his last 6 games, he's averaging 19 points and 8 rebounds, almost 9 rebounds a game. So if they got any chance of winning tonight, they got to get this man the ball.
What can they glean out of the last month of the season, the Illawarra Hawks? We mentioned their record. We don't need to harp on about it, but it is being discussed as one of the worst in franchise history. What can they take away from the last month?
Well, really, this is a big character test for a lot of the players, and self-preservation kicks in these types of circumstances, and that can be toxic. So the way in which that Jacob Jacobus can figure out a way to keep the group together, get them on the same page offensively and defensively, and you know what? I think when you're in this type of situation, the best tool is that bench. Hey, you're not behaving yourself. I don't care about the numbers. Come and have a seat. Sit with me.
Come on over here and sit next to me, bro.
Because
you're not doing your job, I got a little something for you.
That's right.
Our officials tonight, Scott Becker, Nathan Durant, and Hugh Starkey for Friday Night Hoops. In the City of Churches, Adelaide 10-9 on the season, playing for that 5th and 6th spot. The new additions for NBL23 with the play-in series.
11, offensive foul.
That's not how they wanted to start.
Not at all.
Soto with the moving screen, off-the-ball screen that they were looking at, and gee, the last couple of seasons, in fact, any slightest movement on an on-ball or even an off-the-ball screen, they're very conscious.
They're consistent. They're consistent with it, huh? Which is good.
Here's Tyler Harvey. With the right hand, gets inside and opens the scoring account for the Hawks.
And he can get going. You don't let him see that first couple go in. Make or miss, he's going to get him up.
Had 21 points on Monday in their 7-point loss to Cairns, Tyler Harvey. Carries a lot of the scoring load this season. And an offensive foul and a turnover in their first 2 trips down the floor for Adelaide.
Not how they want to start. And they've always, in the last couple of months, they've had some slow starts at home.
Well, they've only recently just got over 500 in their home record on this floor since they've made the move from, well, was that a whole different bunch of names, but since they've moved from the other venue.
Drimmick, catch and shoot 3. His second half of the season has been dramatically better than his first half of the season.
Absolutely, he can get going too. He brings that energy straight away, get the crowd involved early, knock down some jump shots.
Lockie Dent misses a bunny. Won't get an easier opportunity than that tonight. Drimmick walks into the 3.
Yes, sir.
Back-to-back from deep.
He's not going to hesitate either after he's made a couple. He's not going to die wondering, and
nor should he.
And down this end of the floor, the work he's doing on Fraser, you see how he's locked in, fighting over the top, not switching, just really trying to chase. And that time there, Soto picks up his second foul. We have a look at the Amy replay. There's the first one, whack, and then he said, well, I'm feeling hot. Then he goes whackety, whack, whack. Very nice, Mr. Drimmick.
Jason's had a lot of candy this morning. A lot of candy before we start.
What happens when you
take that ball away from him?
You get up early, you go have a hit of golf, and most importantly, you come away a winner. You feel good about yourself with every step you take for the rest of the day.
From what I hear, a big winner over Leonard Copeland today.
We're not talking about the golf, let's just talk about Fraser, who's been fantastic.
Well, he has. He went 12 of 23 from deep in his opening 4 games as a Hawk, but recently struggled, has only made 2 of 15 in his past 3 outings.
Didn't play on Monday due to hamstring soreness. Drimmick gave up that look.
So why wouldn't you take that, Joey? Why wouldn't you take, you made 2 in a row. You have a wide open shot.
Well, I think he saw the hard closeout coming, and he was trying to turn a... Have a look at Deng Deng running at him, so he sees Deng Deng and knows he's got the blow-by.
Yeah. Okay.
And decides to... Well, he had plenty of space, didn't he?
Plenty of space.
Daniel Johnson, who's on the bench, was up on his feet. He thought that thing was going up. Anthony Drimmick during the week, and Mitch McCarron have signed with the West Adelaide Bearcats for the NBL1 Central season. which starts.
I think the Bearcats one of the foundation members of the NBL, and it started back in 1979. And Peter Ally, Ray Wood, got some legends of the game that played with the West Adelaide Bearcats.
It's a fair lineup for NBL 1 Central. McCarron and Drimmick in your starting 5.
I think the great Mike Mackay used to play with him as well.
That's more of that shooting touch you were talking about.
That's what he can do. He's been a real professional since he's joined his team.
Well, what we saw with Perth, well, I always thought he could play, but...
He didn't play like this, though.
No, not even close. He's come out and really lightened it up and looks a completely different player.
Drimmick's third three-point attempt jumps out. He's feeling good in his first quarter.
Back to Frazier, though, he probably didn't play like that because you got guys like Cotton and other guys that demand the ball. Now, with this team, he can be the go-to guy.
Froling gets busy on Soto and scores over the top. Illawarra in front.
It's a good point when you talk about Frazier, when you talk about the role that the Wildcats asked him to play, and sometimes when you're concentrating more on specifics that aren't necessarily right in your wheelhouse, things can go a little awry. And with the freedom that he's had this period with the Hawks, he's looked up.
Falling away, that doesn't stick for Cleveland. Froling passes that straight to Jacob Jackonis. Who's not playing is the coach.
No, he's not.
Still got a shot, though. Take it, get a shot. Stand on the sideline, the ball comes to you. Take that shot.
There he is, first season in charge. It's been a tough initiation for Brian Goorjian's longtime assistant. But one thing that you have to admire with him, he's spoken positively at press conferences all season. He's spoken about his young players and what they're learning. He's not dragging his bottom lip on the floor.
Absolutely.
Well, similar to what the Phoenix have been going through recently, he has been dealt a tough hand with injuries.
There's Franks, his first points of the night.
Well, a little something for Ding Ding as well. Just a bit of advice along the way.
Just to let him know, don't jump, bro. Got a little something for you.
Oh,
Ding Ding crosses him over.
Ding Ding's yelling and one before the ball leaves his hand.
There he is with the offensive rebound.
There you go.
That time scores. He's saying he went a little bit early, Coach?
A little bit early.
A couple of rebounds. His first bucket of the night. McCarron tees off. It's good.
And that's what I'd love to see him do. Take those shots, McCarron. You can knock them down. Open it up for everyone else.
He's only been averaging 1 and a bit attempts per game.
He's got the ball, though, so what do you mean?
Well, he's only shooting at 20%.
That's only 6 made 3 of the season, McCarron.
Off a low attempt, but the fact that he hasn't hit too many, like I said, only shooting at 20%, his confidence may be a little down.
That is turnover number 3 early on for the 36ers. Anthony Drimmick checks out. There's Ian Clark, a championship winner last season with the Sydney Kings, playing just his 3rd game for the Adelaide 36ers.
Imagine bringing in Ian Clark and Daniel Johnson. What a luxury.
Coming off the bench.
Coming off the bench.
A real punch, doesn't it? Offensive punch.
Frazier drives, easy layup. Illawarra take the lead back.
He's tough. He's tough.
Well, we're seeing glimpses of why the Cairns Taipans was able to make that miraculous comeback with what we, on the defensive end, too many times, the Hawks have been able to just get to the rim for easy plays at the rim. Now, they've blown a couple, but the fact that they're getting those types of opportunities would be an area of concern for CJ Bruton.
Jacob Jackonis has gone to his bench early. Marty Swaka-Labul again, and Will Hickey getting some first quarter minutes. Talk about a young man who's making the most of his opportunities. Every time we see Davo Hickey out on the floor, he's giving 150%.
Absolutely. Didn't we have him in camp with us, Gazy?
We did have him early on when he was a youngster, and he was with Melbourne United for a little period, so he's been hanging around the league for some time, but this now given an opportunity, he's shown what he can do.
Johnson scores after the no-look dime from McCarron.
Great pass. Even better finish.
Daniel Johnson will be on the free throw line after the timeout. Jacob Jackomas wanting to have a chat about things. His team trailing by 1, 4.5 remaining in the opening quarter. And pre-game, the great John Casey caught up with Sam Froling and spoke about the challenges that they faced this year and what it might look like for the rest of the season.
Kind of towards the second half of this year, it's just for me being more consistent, and I think I've done a pretty good job of that. And as I'm drawing more attention from the defense, I rate myself as a bit of a passer, and I've been, guys been putting the shots down for me and helped me tick that over on the stat sheet.
And in terms of, obviously, the playoffs aren't going to be part of the plan this year, do you take some sort of, challenge in the fact that you can spoil a few parties on your way to the end of the season?
Yeah, 100%. And, it's our jobs to be out here and play hard and give a good product. At the end of the day, it's an entertainment business. So every night we're going to turn up and try and win these games. And if we can spoil a few parties along the way, then, we'll have fun doing it.
He's a fantastic talent and such a young man, given the responsibilities to be captain of this team as well. I think he's continues to grow and got an unbelievable future because he's only going to get better. I don't think we're seeing, as good as he has been, I still don't think we're seeing the absolute very best from him.
Still only 22.
That's what I'm saying, just a baby. Got a long way to go. And when you think of a player, this would be like a senior in college. Cameraman's just really trying to bring...
Not sure he's one of ours.
...to the audience at home,
Man, get off the floor, man. We got a game going on.
Insight into what's going on.
He's standing at the free throw line.
And we've just been told he's not one of ours. It's for the in-game entertainment on the big screen.
Just not quite sure he was aware that there was a game of basketball going on.
This is going on.
Mathiang has the size advantage over Detch. Adelaide reaching in, whistled for their third foul in the first quarter.
Mathiang's one of those players too. I think back to Keanu Pinder, how when he came in with the Adelaide 36ers really struggled. I think, again, we are not seeing the best of Mathiang and what he could actually do in this league.
Frazier, shot clock at 5. Played for the foul. Detch did well. There's Mathiang with the O-board and the putback.
Wow.
And that's what he's capable of, that real authority around the rim, own the glass, be that big presence down low.
Give you that frown. Scares me every time I call a game. He scares me.
Mate, you sleep with a light on anyway.
It's like being at your golf game.
There he is. Big hands, authority. He's a player that played at the highest level, played in the ACC, played for Louisville, and for a couple of seasons. So he's had some really high level of experiences.
Hickey through the lob for Froling. A little adventurous. Froling had to go and get it. Can't score. Rebound by Hiram Harris. Johnson.
Look at the basket.
Set that pick for McCarron. Faces up on Mathiang. Always loves that jumper from that spot. Not that time, though.
John Casey mentioned at the start in his introduction about the embarrassment of riches of the talent level of the Adelaide 36ers. And I think that CJ eventually is going to have to make some tough decisions, and the rotation maybe have to sit some guys that absolutely deserve minutes. But in order just to tighten and shorten that rotation to get it going, that maybe there's going to have to be some sacrifices along the way for the betterment of the team.
Michael Frazier buries another deep one.
You're right, Gazy, because one, that gives the guys that are playing more playing time and more experience and more confidence.
Clark. Foul will be on Deng Deng, wrestling for position on the low block with Daniel Johnson. think he's happy.
Ding Ding looks like he's taking some angry pills before the game, and he's just...
oh, no, who's scared now?
I'm just saying, he's very demonstrative with some of his body language and talking to the opponents, and I don't mind this with Ding Ding. I think he, as long as he can control it but play on the edge a little bit, I think it helps his game.
He comes out, Dan Greeter, for his first minutes, game number 6 of the season. He's returned from injury. Johnson, beautiful pass for Harris.
Great give and go.
Well, it is, and the weak side help. They come down to send the double team on Johnson, but no help protecting the rim.
It's Frazier, only player in the game in double figures so far. He's got 10 of Illawarra's 18. Harvey gets into the lane. Really couldn't control the rebound, and it does. 2 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Ian Clark walks into a three.
Oh, he's a confident shooter, isn't he?
He's very quickly become a fan favourite at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
We only played 18 minutes, or rounded up to 19 minutes against the Taipans, and clearly you bring this guy in, he's not brought in to play a role of 18, 19 minutes. He's you would expect being that high 20s, early 30 type range for his minutes, and shooting it incredibly well from the three-point line, 56%.
So in
start, you can win your way to the States, hang out with Shaquille O'Neal, and of course, it's all with thanks to our great friends at Reebok. Flights, accommodations, spending money, the whole thing will be looked after.
Amazing.
What kind of money, though? You're going over with Shaq. You gotta have some loot.
No, Shaq's going to pick up the tab for a fair chunk of it, I would have thought.
Maybe. Anyone told Shaq that? Johnson coming off the bench. Last 6 games. It's worked for Adelaide. Drimmick from outside, that's long. Hiram Harris out there doing exactly what CJ Bruton wants from him. Rebounds and hustle. He gets to his left hand. And Johnson wrestles that one away from Froley. Clark got another one.
Wow.
What an impact. That was a deep three.
Something about that Adelaide crowd, too. Once they fall in love with you.
7 of 11 from outside to start his new life as an Adelaide 36er, Ian Clark. Shot clock's at 5. Frazier has had a good start to this game. That one won't be there.
Ian smart, too. He didn't force anything.
Harris turns the corner. His layup misses, and Drimmick came flying through, and in the end, bowled over Daniel Johnson.
Got to love the aggression on the O boards by the Adelaide 36ers the last couple of possessions. And you know, that's a setback. You don't want that to happen, because there was an O board for DJ, and you can see he was upset. But if I'm CJ Bruton, I would much rather that have my own 2 guys wrestling for it than others just standing around.
Of course.
Shot clock switched off. AK Gack out there to finish the opening quarter. He's seeing about 3 minutes a game, so Jacob Jackomas going to him late. Harvey from long range. It's the 36ers who take the lead into quarter time, 23-19 at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. You're watching the Hungry Jacks NBL. Quarter time at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Raining threes for both teams in the opening quarter. Anthony Drimmick got us away to a fast start. Not to be outdone, Michael Frazier very quickly clicked into gear for the Illawarra Hawks. He's got 11 in the opening quarter. And then Ian Clark finishes off in style with a couple of made threes. It's been a high-scoring game. Andrew Gaze, Leonard Copeland.
Yeah, it has been. And Illawarra coming out and showing plenty of character, fighting hard. And the thing that CJ Brute would be really wrapped about on the offensive end is, first and foremost, you're 5 of 6 from the three-point line and 53% overall. But of their 8 field goals that they've made, 7 of them have come from assists. So there's good ball movement, sharing around.
Rolling scores once more over the top of Soto. Here's 4 points, 4 rebounds as well in the opening quarter. Moving. That will be another offensive foul against Adelaide for a moving screen.
Good call it.
Up high.
I guess one thing with this rule, Coach, and here's the replay, it's been consistent. Whether you agree or disagree with how it's officiated, at least it's been consistent.
So you're rolling your eyes there, Gazy. What do you think?
Oh, well, yeah, it was close, I guess, that one, but looked like wasn't a whole lot of movement. Looked like he had both feet set on there, but it's a bang-bang play. It's hard to call, but...
And Cleveland downhill feeds Franks.
And once he gets that ball going, something good usually happens.
Yeah. Really pushing the tempo against the Hawks.
Froling again. Takes it at Soto, and that will be number 3 on the youngster.
And let's take a look at the Amy replay. There it is, the missed shot, and straight off the rim, even around traffic, Cleveland pushes it down and gets a cheapie.
Unselfish guy, too. Just.
And it gets Franks going. He's been a little inconsistent. I think overall he's been okay, pretty good, but a little inconsistent, and only had the 9 points in that loss against the Cairns Taipans. So good transition, pick up a few easy baskets just to get your confidence up.
25-21 in a game where there's been little separating these two teams. The 4-point lead is a game high for either team at this stage. And an early timeout called by CJ Brute. Just seeing a few things that he wants to address with his charges early in this second quarter. And we have a coach's challenge, which explains the timeout.
What are we challenging here? Do we know, Jack?
Well, the call was a foul on Soto, which is his 3rd, so perhaps...
Oh, I don't think there's any chance of winning this one, is there?
That's part of the thinking.
Have a look at this.
CJ Brute.
And this is what's going to happen to Kai Soto. Oh, actually, maybe. I guess who's instigated the contact. The problem you've got is I don't think Kai Soto was in a really good defensive position. And actually, he might have a chance of winning this because it's... No, it's either forward movement, though. That's what they'll probably lean on. See, he's here. Now, yeah, Froling does that, but there's the push there first when he's moving forward. You don't... The other angle showed a little more clearly.
But if the contact's on the arm here, Drew, does Froling engage the contact with Soto's arm?
He hooks.
I don't think that... I assume they've called a pushing foul.
Here's Scott Becker.
The challenge is unsuccessful. The foul will stand. 2 shots.
And that is a problem now for Adelaide because that is Soto's 3rd. Free throws to come for Illawarra. Let's get courtside to John Casey.
Basketball royalty in the house tonight. Former 36ers coach, former championship winner, Joey Wright. Good to see you, Joey. What do you make of the coach's challenge?
I'm about 50-50 on the coaching challenges when I'm at home, so I wouldn't have a clue.
Great to see you here courtside. Do you enjoy the game, or are you sitting there with your coach's hat half on?
No, I come enjoy. That's a good thing about it now. I can just come watch. I don't have to do any coaching, analyzing anything. I can just watch.
Now, we know Brisbane were keen on getting you back as a head coach. Any inkling at all? I know you're happy with what you're doing in terms of your coaching with the juniors at the moment, but are we ever going to see you back again?
Look, I'm happy running transition and Shoot HQ. I'm happy with that. I'm happy affecting young kids' lives, and I'm more than happy to continue what I'm doing now.
And just finally, do you see much of a difference between the way this game is played now than when you were coaching?
Yeah, in just a short time, I think the game's more athletic now. I think teams that don't have athleticism struggle. You can't just be a sharp, good shooting team like you could back when I coached. coach. You got to have some athletes on the court.
Really appreciate your time. Enjoy the match.
Thank you.
Joey Wright did an outstanding job coaching the Adelaide 36ers. I just wonder whether the phone call might come at some stage from the Brisbane Bullets.
Well, based on that interview there, he gave the political answer. He did not rule it out.
No, he did not. There's Ding Ding, the block at one end, and he scores at the other. It's
Ding
back
Ding.
to a one-point game.
Ding Ding's in this game, Joey.
He's playing a little angry tonight.
Soto's still on the floor with 3 fouls. If I'm Illawarra, I'm going at him straight away.
Well, they do anyway, even if he had no fouls, because he's not renowned for his defense and gets a lucky tip on that one that goes to Soto. But that's the biggest area of Soto's game that needs improvement. They just attack him off the bounce, and he's really struggled moving his feet, keeping people in front of him.
Karen feeds Soto inside, the foul and one.
It looked like there was options all over the place. They left McCarron, and still, so we'll see we hear there. McCarron could have shot that. They just run away from him, and yet they still had trouble with the protecting the rim and the paint.
He's been playing as a starter in the last 5 games since they've made that move, Adelaide, and bringing Daniel Johnson off the bench and Kai Soto into the starting lineup. Adelaide are 4-1, so the move has worked.
It is, and it doesn't. They're really not playing much difference at their minutes. It's just that the roles and how in which that Soto coming on and starting, and the balance and your rotations. They do have an impact, but the overall minutes between the two of them are not much different to when they were when DJ was starting.
It's still only across the season. Daniel Johnson playing 25 minutes a game, Kai Soto 12. So
it's about the right.
Yeah. Froling, super aggressive tonight. He scores again.
He's getting better game by game. When you can bring the ball down the court and get it to the basket yourself as a 5-man.
7 points, 5 rebounds in a quarter and a bit for Sam Froling. And Franks threw it cross court for Johnson. Caught it in motion and drains the 3.
Good pass. Just not quite enough pressure and allowed that skip pass cross court. It went down there, sort of a token effort as a double team. Frank's good enough to find DJ wide open.
6 of 8 from outside tonight, the 36ers. They are the second worst 3-point shooting team in the competition as a rule. That's as easy as it gets for Matthew. They bring it back to 5, the Hawks. Davo Hickey whistled for that one.
You had the arm in his back, and that's what pushed him forward. Scotty. Yep. Sideline. Yep.
There's the explanation from Scott Becker. We'll just have another look here. The arm in the back.
No, it was the one behind.
It's his first.
Mitch.
Had 14 points against Cairns on Monday. Davo Hickey, 11 free throw attempts in that game.
He's athletic. He's one of the most athletic guards I've seen in this league.
Talking about athleticism, Antonio's Cleveland, he's got it in spades. That's his first knockdown, 1 of 4 from the field, but it's a tough little fadeaway. Now, it's this end of the floor that I reckon CJ Bruton would be most agitated about at the minute.
They almost had it, then they lost it. Harvey picked it up and buries a 3.
Always going up.
Tyler Harvey has 5 points on 2 of 6. McCarron gave up a couple of looks. Good for great. Drimmick off the front of the iron. Adelaide reset, but not a lot to work with second time around. Drimmick drives. Puts his own rebound back in.
Okay, my ball. Timeout.
So the Hawks call a timeout. They've been doing some things right. One thing they'd love to see is more of this from Tyler Harvey.
Yeah, it's a scramble play. Gets in the right place at the right time for Harvey. First knockdown from 3-point line.
He's 2 of 6 from the field. Adelaide lead this one 37-31. I was just sifting over my Wheaties a couple of days ago, reading the morning papers, and saw this, which I know caught the attention of a lot of people. There he is, the godfather. Lindsay Gay is saying that the NBL at present is at its peak.
I think so, and I've been saying this for a couple of years. Everyone refers back to, or those that were around, as the 90s, as the halcyon days of the NBL. But when you look at the numbers, attendances, TV ratings, people engaging in
athleticism,
the game, and the quality of the basketball, there is no doubt it's at its peak, and it's only going to get better when you look at the talent coming through. And another example is right here. Back-to-back sellouts for the Adelaide 36ers, over 9,500 right across the country. Most venues are full, even in that debacle that we saw last night, unfortunately for the Brisbane Bullets.
Yep.
Very nice crowd in attendance, so it's really encouraging for the league. And when you've got players of that quality like Ian Clark, and just a quick shout out to Morgan Lynch. Wedding anniversary today. Just a lazy 61 years, if you don't mind.
Goodness me.
So happy anniversary to Morgan Lynch. Well done. Congratulations. Wonderful offspring you were able to produce.
And Hickey, all the way.
This guy's funny.
That is nice, isn't it? Wide open. Another example of CJ just trying to get some token pressure up the floor and gets exposed.
He's just so good. Another reason why we know Lindsay knows what he's talking about. The players are making more money these days, Drewy.
That's right.
I think I played for free. I think I was paying to play back in the day.
That's not what I've heard.
Giving money back.
That's not what I've heard. 39-33. Take another look at that Davo Hickey dunk in a minute. Another one for the highlight reel this season. Froling doesn't get it to drop. Tipped in by Mathiak.
He's been good around that basket. Tip ins, layups. Oh.
The turnover.
He's going up.
Harvey's got numbers in his favour. Hickey for 3.
Almost had too much time.
Yeah.
Really started to think about it. Easy transition, but the Illawarra Hawks are getting some good value out of this 1-2-2 half-court trap. It's really token.
Slowing the ball down.
Yeah, just trying to do it. Now, whenever they're not making a basket and they get to push it, the offensive transition of the Adelaide 36ers have been on top, but when they get time to establish their half-court D, they haven't been too bad.
And McCarron wins it back for Adelaide. Clark had to go and find that pass. Shot clock about to roll into single figures. McCarron gave it up for Clark. One jumps out. Hickey threw it back in.
Never save a ball under your own basket. Come on. That's the young kid. Here's a dunk. Ah!
Nice. Goes up, threw it down with some level of authority as well.
Sure, you wouldn't know what it feels like to get up that high, would you?
Just Google me. YouTube, V Geelong. #2 dunk of the year, if you don't mind.
In Geelong air.
9-foot range.
Didn't win dunk of the year that year, did you?
It was
Leon Trimming. Fly by night, Leon.
2 for Johnson. Starting to work his way into the game.
So crafty. He's able to find ways to make awkward-looking shots effective. And that was another example of it. Sort of a little push, half hook type shot.
He's leading them in scoring off the bench.
Well and truly worked his way in now, hasn't he? Michael Frazier, still the leading scorer with 11. All of those coming in the opening quarter. Dan Greeter catch and shoot 3. That doesn't stick. The ball fell into Mathiang's hands, and he's got 8 points.
He's really eating tonight, isn't he?
Opportunistic around the basket. This is that little token pressure that we're talking about. That's the worst place to pick up the ball. Talk about basketball 101 against a 1-2-2. Just to take that one dribble over right there.
Because you can't go backwards.
Yeah, and the sideline's right there as well. Perfect trapping area. And they pay the price. Couple of turnovers now.
And you come sit with me.
Mitch McCarron comes out of the game. Stick around at halftime We've put these two learned gentlemen to work. Andrew Gaze and Leonard Copeland will reveal their All-NBL first and second teams as it stands right now.
And then there's an asterisk next to it because I wanted to...
Don't start backtracking.
We've got a lot of basketball.
There's plenty of time to change it. Yeah, but
right.
we're talking about right now.
Okay.
Do you feel like he's backtracking?
Yeah.
I am, and I haven't even shown you.
Always on the fence.
No, it's not. It's just the reality that there's a lot of basketball to be played.
Well, you did it.
What do you mean?
You put the list together.
Well, it is, but reluctantly, only because you asked me to.
Sunday Tetch. Oh, my goodness. Knocks down his first one of the game.
Well, hasn't played a lot. We're talking about sacrificing. He might be one of the ones with Clark coming in that becomes a little bit short of minutes to travel.
What he can do is bring the defense out. He's always been known as a great defender.
Only played 5.5 minutes in this one, and that's an area of his game that's improved immeasurably over the last 3 or 4 years. And you know why? He's a worker. He spends the time on it, and he's getting some reward with his jump shot.
Johnson steps out of bounds. Well, thanks to our great friends at Sportsbet, we've already seen a few tonight. We started tonight with 26 dunks. We've added a couple more, which is $13,000 that Sportsbet have donated so far as part of Dunkery.
Fantastic. Supporting Australian prostate research.
Yep. Wonderful. Wonderful cause that one. As Deng Deng has been proactive in this first half.
And he loves that end one, doesn't he?
He doesn't mind providing a bit of advice for the officials.
Just helping the referees out, buddy.
But your point's valid. Oh, hang on. We got more giveaways. I tell you.
50K. NBL.com.au/legends. Latrobe Financial.
One shot.
This time, Deng Deng could call for the Ang one.
He was calling for it on the way down the court. Got the rebound and said, and one. And went down the court and took the shot.
Illawarra have got themselves back within 6. And it got out to a game-high 9-point lead and was getting a little concerning for them.
That was lovely. Lovely give and go.
And that's the penalty. You get it over that front line of that 1-2-2, and you've got a numerical advantage, and that's the easiest way to get them out of that pressure is to start picking up those transition baskets and those easy ones.
Michael Frazier still out of the game. Not seen a lot of him in this second quarter. Greta fouled on the tip-in.
Why is that? There might be, maybe Case can get on the case, and if you know what I mean.
No, we know.
And figure out if there might, because he is coming off, he missed a game with a hammy, so there might have been a little...
Minute restrictions or something.
Or just a little tweakage along the way. Can be very temperamental, the hamstrings.
How would you look, Drew, with this kind of hair on your head, bro?
I'll tell you what, that is some real decent props, isn't it? Looks like it'd probably do with a bit of a wash, though.
I can't say that.
Well, it just looks a bit, is that nappy? Or it's just...
I don't know, Drew. I don't have hair.
Oh, that's a good point.
This is the wrong panel to be having that conversation with. Adelaide ball, 10 on the shot clock. If they can keep it around the 6 or 7 mark, Coates, would they be happy going into half-time, Illawarra?
Absolutely, absolutely. They made some mistakes. But again, Drew spoke about the 1-2-2. That's actually helping them. Slows Adelaide down.
If they don't attack it, it does.
That's right. Take some of that time off the clock, so now all of a sudden there's 14 seconds or 13 seconds to get a shot off. If we can get Michael Frazier back in here, then we might have a game.
We'll find out a little bit more about that shortly. Shot clock at 5. You can hear CJ Bruton counting it down. Adelaide have made a mess of this possession. And Clark travels.
You can't get up and lift the ball at the same time. If the ball's on the floor, it's all good.
Just slipped over by...
Ooh. He'll feel that tomorrow.
There's 8 points in Clark on 3 of 4 shooting. Ding Dang stepping back for three. He's feeling real good.
Well, he is, and what he is doing is getting extended and consistent minutes. And again, a lot of players, just it's all about opportunity.
10 points on 4 of 6 shooting. Johnson rolls to the basket. It's caught up with Swaka Labulik. It'll be free throws for Adelaide.
It is, and when you think of it, this Illawarra team and how they can move forward, one thing it can do is really give opportunities to players like we mentioned with Deng Dang, but also with Dan Greta, who he burst onto the NBL scene and unfortunately just been crippled by injuries the last season and a half, and high quality start to his career. And when you're looking at value for that they can get out of the remaining games this season, it's players like those types of guys that you can really figure out how help their careers, but also figure out how they can figure in your plans for the future.
We've got 50 on the board, Adelaide. One last possession here for the Hawks. And 5 seconds is an eternity. Tyler Harvey pulls up from 8 mile away. Big time three on the halftime buzzer.
That's a big one.
That's what, a metre over the centre line. Stops, props, nothing but cotton.
Whackety, whack, whack. Goes Tyler Harvey.
Here we go.
50-47 at the main break, and Illawarra are in the hunt. Let's get to Case.
Anthony Trimmick, great start by you guys. You knocked down back-to-back triples there inside 90 seconds. That must have felt good, mate.
Yeah, I mean, as a shooter, when you're hitting shots, it feels good. So, yeah, it was a good way to start. But, you know, finishing that half, I don't think we did very well.
No, the Hawks, they just keep hanging around at the moment. They're making you work hard for it. What do you need to do a little better?
100%. Well, they're a great team, right? So they're going to come out and fight every game. boards, I don't know how many we've given up, but I feel like it's been at least 10 plus. So we definitely got to rebound better and play better defense in the second half.
Turnovers a problem as well. There were some ugly turnovers in the first half.
Yeah, their press let us down a little bit, so we got to get in the locker room, work that out, and then come out firing in the second half.
Appreciate your time. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Half-time at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. We have got a game on our hands. 50-47, Adelaide leading over Illawarra. The half-time show is coming up next. Andrew Gaze and Leonard Copeland take us through their All-NBL first and second teams. Tough time on Friday Night Hoops. The Adelaide 36ers leading Illawarra 50-47. Daniel Johnson, enjoying his new role coming off the bench, has 12 points on 4 of 5.
It is, and I think that CJ would be really happy with the offense that the Adelaide 30s have been able to put out. But when it comes to on the defensive end, this is a team that's only averaging 80 points a game. They've already given up 47. And the intensity hasn't been there. And there's been a few times they've gotten into problems like that with some mismatch. And let's not forget they're doing a lot of this damage and putting those points on the board where, yeah, Harvey hit that freak shot just before halftime, but he's only had the 7 field goal attempts. He's only got the 8 points. And, of course, Frazier spent a lot of time on the bench. So not sure if there's some other issues as to why that was happening, but we took a look at the stats across the board, and that is, there's more than 12 and 11 points up on the board.
This is head-to-head. This is the two boys going head-to-head.
We're standing.
How well's your vision going these days?
And there's Frazier and Daniel Johnson, the head-to-head action. And both of them have been scoring really well. And let's not forget that Daniel Johnson coming off the bench, really efficient with that 4 or 5. And the rebounds tipping in. And Frazier, that's the big mystery. Not sure why he spent more time than what we would have thought on the bench.
We'll find out more about that shortly. John Casey's all over that. We're going to get some new glasses for Andrew Gaze as well.
Now, just clean them.
Age could be a factor. I'm not too sure, but age could certainly be a factor. Now, we've put you two to work. All-NBL first and second teams as they stand right now. Leonard Copeland, you wanted to go first.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look at how you've got the teams. Now, remembering, there are still games to come, but the obvious one there for me, no Keanu Pinder in your All-NBL first team.
Everyone in Cairns, just calm down. There's plenty of time for Keanu Pinder to be in that first team. But I just thought we'd go with the two bigs, Creek and Cooks, who are both playing very good basketball. And I put Cleveland in there because I love the way he plays both ends of the floor.
And the other one there is Rajon Tucker, which is an interesting one for the All-NBL second team.
Only because he's lifted his game. And I'm sure he came in at the beginning of the season talking about how good he was. Now, that's the things that the Americans do. I did the same thing. It is. I came in saying how good I was.
Mate, your very first game, you came in and busted 38.
39, Joey. But that's all right. That's 1 point. Don't worry about that. But all I'm saying is that's a defense mechanism to scare people. And he's really lifted his game. He's got Melbourne United a chance to be in that top 6.
Let's have a look at Andrew Gaze and his All-NBL first and second teams, Drewy.
Yep.
Your first team looks a little more conventional.
Well, when you look at the Cairns Taipans and what they've been able to do, you've got to give someone credit for it. Now, they do spread it around, but Keanu Pinder has been a revelation. Unfortunately, those injury issues might actually bump him out because I don't know how long he's going to be out. Xavier Cooks and Mitch Creek have been fantastic. Walton Jr. does whatever it takes. And the legend, arguably one of the greatest of all time, Bryce Cotton, having another fantastic season. And Milton Doyle, I don't think you had Milton in there. And
I had Doyle in the second team.
Milton Doyle was there. I had Cleveland. I think what he's been able to do. Derek Pardon is one that I think he's been a big part of what the New Zealand Breakers have been able to do. And he's so good on the defensive end, knows his role on the offensive end. He's one of those guys who love to play with because he loves to set screens.
Absolutely.
And he sets screens.
And plays defense.
And, of course, Williams has been really good for the Phoenix as well. Now, the thing about all this, though, Jack...
Here's the disclaimer.
I think that wins and losses at the end of the season really come into play when you're making these types of decisions. And there's so much that can play out in the last... Some teams have still got 8 or 9 games to go. So there's so much that can play out that can change those rankings. So there's still... don't get carried away.
No one call me. There's a long way to go.
You can call him or tweet him.
So the takeaway out of this, though, is that Cooks, Creek, Cotton, all locked. All locked away?
Yep, 100%.
Keanu Pinder, maybe not so much.
Just depends on his injury and if he comes back strong. But he certainly deserves to be in the top 5.
Tweet us your thoughts. Hashtag NBL23 or just tweet Gaze and Copes Direct. That'd be more fun.
We didn't get yours, though. We didn't get yours.
No one cares about mine.
Is there anyone out of our top 10 that you would have had in there?
Maybe DJ Hogue, but we'll come back to that another time. Here is Latrobe Financial Legends. Here's some of the entries that we've got so far. You can win $50,000. Go to nbl.com.au/legends. The 36ers lead it by 3. We're back with the second half next. Just about ready to go for the third quarter at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. The 36ers once again with a sellout crowd on their home floor hosting the Illawarra Hawks, and they lead by 3. Mystery around Michael Frazier had 11 points in the opening quarter for Illawarra. Was not seen in the second term. John Casey, you've got the latest.
That's right, Jack. Yes, I've just spoken to Jacob Jackomas, the coach of the Hawks. He was just shaking his head, could not believe it. But Michael Frazier has sustained an arm injury there in that first quarter and will not take part in the remainder of the game. It's shocking luck for them. We know they've been bedeviled by injury all year. Robinson went down in the opening game, Peyton Seaver more recently, and now Michael Frazier, 11 points in the opening quarter. But he is out for the rest of the game. Hawks have to host Tasmania on Tuesday, travel to Cairns on Friday. So it just keeps racking up against them.
And Sydney on Sunday just to cap off the next round. Case, thank you very much. Nicely done. Gee,
did we see it?
Shocking luck.
I didn't see anything. Did you see it?
Didn't see anything that really stood out. And when you think of their entire season, and Justin Robinson in the first game of the season, I think it was, and George King, they've just had a horrific run of injuries. Dan Greeter, which we spoke about in the first half as well. It's just, they just can't seem to get a break.
Adelaide in possession to start the third quarter. Soto back out there with 3 fouls, tips it in.
That's what he can do. Around, just use that length around the basket. 5 rebounds for him.
Tyler Harvey. No, Michael Frazier becomes even more important. It's ding, ding.
Ding, ding said, who needs Michael Frazier? Get me the ball and watch the show.
Second 3 of the night. Shooting it at 29% across the season.
And talking trash, too.
He's got 13 points on 5 of 7. Soto up top. Just jumps out. The Illawarra Hawks are the lowest scoring team in the competition in third quarters, but strangely are the best defensive team in third quarters. If you can make sense of that. We go back through Deng Deng. This time with the left hand, couldn't score. Oh, Lockie Dent. Leveled by Soto. Screen, and Deng Deng blocks the shot.
Is Ding Ding mic'd up? Because every time...
Well, Franks hadn't seen a lot of it. That was only his 4th field goal attempt on the evening.
Which is definitely not enough.
3 of 4, 7 points in the outing. He definitely needs to see more of it.
And Froling goes to work on Soto, scores with the right hand. Sam Froling's got 9.
And right there, you saw the biggest problem that's facing Kai Soto. He just his ability to keep anyone who's going to drive at him in front. Go right by him. It's just too easy. Either gets into foul trouble or easy plays on the rim.
Is it fixable?
Well, it is, but it comes down with just a lot of it, I think, is technique, how you're sliding your feet, but also a bit of smarts. Use your length a little bit more to contest it and be able to slide your feet, give yourself a little bit more margin. Like he was really closed out, really tight on that last possession.
Ding Ding just picked up his 3rd foul. Drimmick hasn't really been able to get going after that first quarter. Did a couple of 3s to start the game. Been quiet ever since. Harvey catch and shoot. Got it. Wow. Ties it up at 55.
We got a game.
Well, this is 55. This is a team that averages 80 on the season per game. Yeah. And again, another example of spreading the floor with that 1-2-2 little token half-court press.
Huh? Did he call it?
A little late-night banking from Swakala-Bullock. Illawarra in front.
Somebody's got to play some defense here now. Come on.
Soto misses the layup. Deng Deng head down. He's only got one thing in mind, and that's the score and the flex.
Deng Deng must have relatives in Adelaide because he's going off.
15 points, and he's looked impressive. 6 boards to go along with those 15, and it's the coast-to-coast action. Harvey knocks down the three. Swakala Bullock with a bank shot, and things they seem to be going the way of the Illawarra Hawks.
3-point lead of the Hawks. They will have to do it in the second half, though, Drew, without Michael Frazier, who had 11 in the opening quarter, sustained an arm injury. Now, we've gone back and had a look at the first half, and this is what we can, to the best of our knowledge, trace it down to that.
Yeah, that'd be it. Looks more like a wrist. He's holding his wrist. Maybe just got wedged in there on a jersey or something.
It was Anthony Drimmick who...
Did not look like a lot, though, did it?
If you remember, Daniel Johnson slapped the floor in frustration. We were all watching that. But it's the arm injury to Michael Frazier that will see him take no further part in this game, as John Casey mentioned. And it has been a season of struggle for Illawarra, no question about that. They sit at 2 wins and 17 losses currently. We are starting to get to that uncomfortable territory, Copes, of worst seasons in franchise history.
And that's ugly. I mean, you don't want to be known. You don't want to break any records going this way. So, at the end of the day, and look, they're playing good basketball. I mean, when they're healthy, give Michael Frazier a couple of Panadol, bro, and get back on the floor. Come on, man.
He looks in distress there. And I'm sure the Panadol is going to solve that problem, Coach. Maybe a little Voltaren might help kick it in.
Adelaide have made a pretty sluggish start to this third quarter. That will help their cause.
That is just way too easy.
Well, it is, and both teams. You talk about the Illawarra Hawks, like we mentioned, only averaging 80. They're last in field goal percentages at 41, and that is just no help. And
one dribble to the basket without getting touched.
Well, that's right. And yeah, Greedy got to do a better job stopping from getting there, but where's your help? Where's your rotation?
That's right.
And also, another example of the Hawks, the Adelaide defense, excuse me, the Hawks are shooting 51% from the field and 50% from three-point line, where they've been woeful all season.
And Harvey takes it inside and sent packing by Cleveland.
Would this be a danger game for Adelaide? This is a danger game.
Absolutely it is. This is crucial for the 36ers. And there you saw it just stuck in Harvey's hand after the block. So the Adelaide 36ers pick up the possession.
Adelaide, 10 wins, 9 losses for the season. Eyeing off 5th or 6th spot on the table. They sit 7th coming into this game, as you can see. It'll be an Adelaide ball. Let's get down to Case once more.
Yeah, I've just spoken to the medical staff here from the Illawarra Hawks, who tell me that Michael Frazier has a possibly broken left arm. He does have a plate in his left forearm from a previous knock, and they're going to have to scan tomorrow, but he's grimacing in pain just metres away from me now, just resting his arm on the ice. But it was during the second quarter, and he collided with Anthony Drimmick. But as I say, there could be a weak spot there because he's previously broken that arm. The plate is inserted in there. They're going to have to check it out tomorrow.
They certainly will. One thing's for sure, a couple of Panadols on to fix the problem, Coach.
Panadol and a V. Give him a V. He'll be fine, bro.
Yeah, he's got a broken arm.
Back in our day, bro.
We weren't playing with broken arms.
Panadol and a V, bro. You back on the floor.
What sort of combination's that?
I got to get my numbers. Bro.
Panadol and a V.
Jeez.
That's horrible news for Michael Frazier. Been such a positive influence at Illawarra since he arrived, as Cleveland puts the 36ers back in front.
Just gliding to the basket.
And Clark right there. We saw last season with Sydney, so much is spoken about his offensive prowess and the way he can score. Tough defender, particularly for the ball carrier.
Absolutely tough defender. And you know what? He's smart, though. You can tell he's a veteran. He's been around. He knows the tempo of the game. He's not going to come down and just jack it because he can make the three. He moves that ball around, gets guys involved, but defensively shuts his man down.
Hiram Harris stayed with it long enough.
Well, you saw what the Illawarra Hawks are doing. You can hear the counting in the background. That was actually the Hawks players. So they're starting in a 2-3 zone. And I suspect it's on the third pass, wherever that pass is, they're going to match up. So we'll see if they stay into it, because first and foremost, you've got to make them make 3 passes, or else they're going to score. If they score as easy as they do and break down that 2-3 that early before you get to 3, then
you're in trouble.
The strategy's not effective. And this is trying to just be a little bit disruptive. Take some more time off the clock, keep them in the half court, and try and force them into different positions, with the 36ers perhaps running their zone offensive set, then going to a man-to-man to create a little bit of confusion.
Absence creates opportunity, and that's exactly what Deng Deng is doing tonight. Not out on the floor at the moment. But Copes, he's a young man that you've worked with very closely along the way. He's got 15 points on 6 of 9 to go with 6 rebounds.
I've had Deng Deng in my camps for the last 10 years, and he's always preached about not having an opportunity. And right beginning of this season, when he wasn't playing great, I gave him a very stern talking to. Deng Deng, you're getting your opportunity. You're starting now. You're averaging 2 rebounds a game. Show me something. And then it seems like he's picked his game up, but he's certainly playing well tonight, Drew.
Oh, absolutely. And he's got the athleticism. He's been around a long time, spent the last off-season playing with the Kilsyth Cobras in the NBL1 competition, where you can go and you can make a few more mistakes than what you can at the NBL level and continue to grow his game. Now, there's an absolute legend, Ken Cole. And thoughts are with Kenny. I know he's been battling some illness recently. I think he had to head off to hospital the last week, but great to see him at the game.
Always looking sharp, isn't he?
Always. Nice headgear as well, the hats. And when he played, he used to come out with the funky boots and real character and smart basketball mind.
Sold out crowd tonight at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Harvey for 3.
When that thing's going, he's going.
Well, and it's just a little too easy. I know they're coming off that little brush screen, whatever it is Clark answers straight away. That's another deep one from Clark, but the Adelaide 36 has got to be more Tyler Harvey conscious. Oh, make someone else beat you.
Froling can't score. Whistle on the rebound.
22 on the rebound.
Hiram Harris. Tyler Harvey now 4 of 5 from outside tonight.
See that little screen? Now that's where, if you're going to be in that situation, you're locking and trailing, you've got to stay on his hip. And down the other end, same thing. There is still starting and showing a 2-3 zone. And there is the ultimate zone buster.
Zone buster. He can get you out of that zone straight away. Oh.
Mathiak almost had his pocket picked by Harris. Picked the ball back up and scores. It's unconventional what Illawarra are doing, but they're staying in the game. They trail by 2. You see the 36ers on Sunday afternoon. We'll be hosting the New Zealand Breakers. That is a big, big game. Depending on what happens here, of course.
Well, right now, there's 3 or 4 other teams in particular that are cheering like anything for the Illawarra Hawks.
Yes, sir.
They are sitting at home and they say,
We've been there before. We
don't pay attention to what other games. We just worry about ourselves. Well, pigs, you're absolutely at home with your pom-poms out saying, go Hawkies.
And on the phone, texting your friend, man, these guys,
can they really do it? Can they get this win?
We've all been there.
Absolutely.
Case highlighted the tough week that the Illawarra Hawks have got. No games again until Tuesday, where they'll host Tasmania, but then away games on Friday and Sunday in Cairns in Sydney. That's just about as tough as it gets in this league. Harvey banks that home and has 16 points now on 6 of 11.
She's got a great clip.
Another easy 2 for Ian Clark.
It is. And you're seeing a real contrast. And just if you look at the assists in this game here, Illawarra, oh my goodness, no defense whatsoever. The Illawarra Hawks, you see a lot of that. Everything's off the bounce, not a lot of ball movement for the finish of the play anyway. They've only got the 6 assists as opposed to the Adelaide 36ers who have 18 assists.
36ers lead by 1. Led by as much as 9 in the second quarter. The Hawks will not go away.
A lot of standing around.
Hiram Harris needs to isolate Dan Greeter. And scores just over the top of Mathiang.
There was a lot of standing around, wasn't there? And this all a little bit too easy. Harris just found a way to power dribble his way to his spot and ended up with a pretty easy one around the rim.
Tim Conrad out there for his first minutes. Mathiang late on the shot clock. Wow. Again, it's unconventional.
He looks at his hand.
He stayed within 1, but that's not the sort of man that you'd want to be leaving open like that.
Well, here's the Amy replay. Down low, Mathiang, little head fake here, and he runs back, looking at his hands as if he's in disbelief of what he can do with the right. Couldn't quite see it there, but sort of Shaquille O'Neal type when he made a free throw or dunked it.
See Jacob Jacoma saying big minutes here. They're right in this game, Illawarra. A really important 2 minutes on the way to three-quarter time. Clark steps inside. Not that time, though. And that's a costly turnover.
They've been pretty good, the Hawks. That's only their 6th turnover, I believe.
I'd love to see them go down, post up Franks or try to get him involved a little bit more. 4 shots is not enough for him with his ability and the things he can do.
Barely seen him tonight, Coach, have we?
And again, they're persisting with that, showing the 2-3 zone, and they're mixing it up. Show a 2-3 zone.
After 2 or 3 passes,
they're back into their man.
Yeah. Smart.
Well, it presents a problem that the Adelaide 36ers are yet to figure out.
Mathiang, that will be a charge. Jimmy saw him coming and took good position.
Might have got away with a little hook early on, and then once that momentum's going, the big fella just couldn't pull out of it and just ran over the top of Trey.
Runaway motor, Jack. I can't stop.
He's not happy with the call, but I'm not sure there's much he can dispute on that one.
No. He's playing tough, though. He's been on the glass. Got the little runner going. 12 points, 6 for 6.
6 rebounds as well. It does have 3 fouls as we're in the last minute of the third quarter.
White 7, push.
Let's get to John Casey.
Just looking at the lineup here for the Illawarra Hawks. It's rare, an all-Australian lineup here for the Hawks, with Greeter, Conrad, Frolling, Madronya and Dent out there. And it's no surprise the Hawks are right in this game. When they played here back in round 3, they actually led at three-quarter time. They led into the final quarter, and it was only Adelaide who were able to string together an 11-0 run that arrested momentum away from them in that game. And no surprise that we're seeing Deng Deng putting on a show as well. He turned 31 yesterday. His best game of the season was that game I just referred to in round 3 here in Adelaide, where he had 18 points.
Ding, ding, you're 31. I got to give you a call, bro.
Oh, that's
rolling over.
Close.
Just got over halfway in time. Conrad, that's big.
Wasn't going to do anything else but get that one up. I can tell you.
10,
he could shoot it.
10 of 19 at 52.6% from the three-point line.
The Illawarra Hawks are in front right now.
Now move. Give him some room.
6 on the clock for Franks. Kicks it back out for Drimmick. That little floater drops.
Well, Dremick is the one that's really been the focal point on the offensive end, either by design or his own sheer will. He's got 12 field goal attempts, which is the most by a bit of a margin.
Froling, 1 on the clock, has to shoot. Has drawn a foul.
Oh.
CJ Bruton has completely lost it on the sidelines. Let's have another look.
Well, I guess the call is that he's gone into his landing space. They're having a look to see if it's a 2 or a 3, and it's a 2. Definitely a 2. And just that little move forward.
Yep.
Gee, Cubs. Is that a foul in your books?
Not in our day. Not in our day. It's not a foul. But the rules have changed here.
Froling a 52% free throw shooter on the season. And with thanks to MG, you can win a brand new 100% electric vehicle. NBL.com.au/win@MG.
You must, if you're watching, jump on the website and enroll for the opportunity, because this is the latest technology, Jackie boy, 100%. I can speak firsthand on this because I've been test driving.
And Froling misses.
Do you have to stop at the petrol station, Jordan?
No, it's electric.
I know.
What part of 100% electric?
I just want to hear you brag about it, because every time we play golf, all you say is, guess what? I never have to stop at the petrol station.
75 apiece at three-quarter time at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Big finish coming up next.
I know.
Friday night in the city of Churches, and we're seeing a big one. The Adelaide 36ers under the pump right now, 75 apiece against the 2-17 Illawarra Hawks, who are pushing hard for their 3rd win of the season. This game's up for grabs right now.
Absolutely is up for grabs. This is a danger game for the Adelaide 36ers. And there's our man Al Green, Mr. 70. He's speaking of 71. Didn't he have 71 on you, Jordan?
73, not on me. 73. We played him the next night. They played Frankston and he had 73, and we played him the next day on the Sunday afternoon as Sam Froling knocks it down, and Brian Goorjian was guarding him and locked him up, and Gorge had 10 threes in the first half. Kenny Cole got a tech foul at halftime, Gorge made the next 2 free throws and then didn't score for the rest of the game. At 32, 10 threes in the first half.
Wow. Cleveland left open. Rattles out Ian Clark with the long rebound. What are you seeing, Copes?
I'd love to see Franks post up or dig in, or don't just stand there and...
I think you're right. I think Franks has got to hunt it a little bit more.
Well,
Go
absolutely.
get it.
You can't just
demand it.
Yeah, it's not his job to run a play for you. When you're over here as an import, you can't have 7 points a game, bro. We got a plane ticket for you.
3 of 5 from the field. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities. And
go get it. Go find it.
Only 1 rebound in the game as well.
Here comes Cleveland. Off to Clark. He gave up his look.
Oh, they're thinking about it. You can see the wheels are ticking. The game's just not flowing. They're passing up. They're making decisions. They're not shooting with great confidence. And this is one they've got to find a way to figure out a formula to get themselves back on track, because the signs here are not looking good. Now, there's still a long way to go. And you'd probably much rather, even though they're trailing it by 2, you'd much more favour the Adelaide 36ers, but just a couple of shots you'd normally take when you're in the flow, that there's the hesitation and just thinking about the shots rather than just waiting and what's coming to you. There's another example of it. This time it gets to play on the rim.
Think back to their last game on Saturday, and it was their 4th quarter that completely undid all of their good work. Dave O'Hickey puts them back in front.
Well, if that is a simple on-ball screen...
And CJ's yelling, you gotta get under. Get under.
He wants to take the risk of Hickey shooting those 3 balls.
And he's right. He's 100% right.
Oh.
Swakala Bullock stole it away from Clark. And the jam. The Adelaide 36ers have got a real problem right now.
Well, the Amy replay, Clark gets stripped and Swakala Bullock goes up and tucks it in. Very nicely done.
Stunned silence, Drewy, at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. And then the turnover as well. The ghosts of the 4th quarter from the Cairns game are starting to rear their head once again for Adelaide.
I get a timeout right now. I get a timeout, a standing timeout, and I tell people where to go. Right now. You got to do it.
Well, it's a tough one, because my eyes see a team that's completely devoid of confidence right now, the Adelaide 36ers. And do you slap them on the tush and say everything's okay here and just try and build some confidence that way, or do you perhaps lay down the law like you're suggesting, Copes? It's one of those...
You go upside that head, bro. That's what you do. I'm telling you right now.
4th quarters have been a problem for Illawarra all season. He started this one well. Here goes Cleveland. Johnson there to clean up the mess. It's a 2-point game.
Now you see why I put Cleveland in my... Because he can change a game. When he gets that ball off that glass, he's coming at you.
Swakala Bullock left open. Franks drags in that rebound.
And I think this is the key as well. Up the tempo. They looked pretty ordinary in the half court.
That's why I love this guy.
Well, I think a lot of people love him. He's been really good for big chunks of the season. And this one here gets to the rim for the easy 2.
Extra free throw coming for Antonius Cleveland. We're tied at 81. They've scored off their last 2 possessions, the Adelaide 36ers.
Well, look, when Cleveland is motoring and his motor's going, then you just got to get on his back, because he'll get it off the glass and take it all the way to the hole. He's smart, because threes are not going great for him right now, so he's trying to get that ball to the basket.
Well, it is, and it's an interesting decision. I think that Ian Clark He's 5 of 8 from the field. And again, I think they've taken him out of the game. Maybe just a quick breather. Maybe not, but that's going to be an interesting one. He's played 19 minutes. He's shot the ball really well, 13 points, been pretty solid. A couple of assists, but he's got the 4 turnovers. And it was a costly one, that last one at the centre court, where got stripped of the ball and Swakala Bullock went down and Swakala it in.
Adelaide 81, Illawarra 81. 6:47 remaining at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. There's Michael Fraser with a possible broken arm, which is horrible to see, but this is fantastic to see. With thanks to Sportsbet, every dunk in an NBL game in the month of January, $500 goes to Australian prostate cancer. We're already up at around 28, 29 dunks, including tonight, which is going to pump us to about $14,500.
Wow.
Nice.
Great calls.
Cleveland misses the extra. Illawarra happy to walk this ball up the floor, as they have been for most of the night. Slow this 36ers team down. Done it with a good level of success. Harvey hemmed in the corner. Fed Swakala Bullock, and he's swatted out of the air. McCarron on the charge at the other end. Didn't shoot it and turned it over.
Come on, McCarron.
Well, the shot was a lot easier to take than the pass.
It's almost like someone told him not to shoot the ball. Why? He's a very good shooter. Look at the basket.
Davo Hickey got past McCarron and puts Illawarra back in front.
Well, and to the other end, you don't normally see that with McCarron. Goes underneath the screen, still keeps the man in front, but the man just blows by him.
And again, silence from the Adelaide crowd. Cleveland keeping them in the game. Couldn't score that time, though.
Well, Cleveland is the one that you can see is taking the game into his own hands, and I'd be getting Ian Clark back out there as soon as I can. He's another one that can make shots, 5 of 8 from the field. And there's a foul.
You stepped underneath him. You didn't give him anywhere to land. 0, box, 2 shots.
Have a look at this one. You got to give him space to land. He goes at him, and he's right. Yep. If you look at it, just landed. Ding Ding actually landed on his foot. That's the whole reason why the rule was put in place. There we see Clark on the sidelines.
This is a fantastic competition that's available to fans of the Hungry Jacks NBL. You can whopper your way to LA. 4 tickets, flights, spending money, accommodation, it's all available.
Was another interesting substitution in that Robert Franks goes to the sidelines. And as we mentioned, he hasn't done a lot in this one. 3 of 5 from the field, and an O-board off a free throw, and Tyler Harvey on the kick out knocks down the 3, and the worry beads are well and truly out now for the Adelaide 36ers.
My goodness. The plot thickens at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. The Hawks have won just 2 games for the season. They lead by 6 away from home. Shot clock against them. And a call for a block.
I don't know about that one.
A blocking foul. There it is off the O boards and bounces out. But here's the thing, it was off a free throw. This is
those are mistakes you cannot have.
Deer in the headlights, and the fundamentals of the game become so hard, and the foofer valve is tight.
Only you could get away with that.
I know. If anybody else
would get an email on Monday for sure.
It's the truth.
I know.
We've all been there.
Don't need to be so descriptive, though. I wouldn't have thought.
Well, that's what it is.
We get it.
It's in your belly and in the lower regions.
Don't tell us, Drew. We know what you're talking about, bro. Tightens up on you.
My word, it does. And just the normal things that you just take for granted that just happen almost instinctively don't happen.
Under 5 minutes remaining. Adelaide, red-hot favourites coming into tonight, have got their work cut out. Cleveland travels.
Now is the time for that timeout.
Yeah. Cleveland, McCarron, Clark, Johnson, Harris on the floor for Adelaide. Harvey, Mathiang, Hickey, Greeter and Froling for Illawarra. Well, without Michael Frazier for the remainder of the game, and who knows what that diagnosis looks like after an arm injury suffered earlier in the game. Mathiang came flying and he's still hustling. Couldn't come up with the ball. Cleveland 1 on 3. Wow. Basket's waved away.
Offensive rebound on the putback. As he went to tip that one back in, they've called the offensive foul.
And he's in the circle, so it can't be.
Right there. That's the one they've called on DJ.
Not in that second part. Well, that's what I'm saying, but on the first part, I'm going up Cleo board for the layup. Yeah, but the circle doesn't apply in that situation.
It's the most I've heard Daniel Johnson talk in 10 years. He doesn't speak, does he?
Well, I don't mind the way he did it as well. Showed good composure, just seeking clarification from the officials.
6-point lead of the Hawks. Both of their wins this season have been on their home floor. They are 0 and 9 away from home. Froling puts it back in. Timeout Adelaide. Now they've got a real problem.
It is. It is an inability to get stops. Keep repeating it. This is an Illawarra Hawks team that is the lowest field goal percentage shooting team in the competition and the lowest scoring team. Here comes the standing timeout that Coach is talking about. And it's 54% from the fields. We take a look at the ladder.
Now, this was coming into tonight, Drew.
Yeah, not live. And the Sydney Kings and New Zealand Breakers, outstanding work.
Who would be sitting at home? Who would be sitting at home rubbing their hands together?
Well, there's a couple even above there that would just be very, very happy with proceedings here. And the Perth Wildcats ecstatic. Melbourne United still believe they're a chance. They'd not upset with this performance by the Illawarra Hawks.
And here's what's to come. New Zealand, Tasmania, Perth.
Wow.
3 teams all in contention.
And Melbourne at the end. Wow.
Brisbane after last night. Who knows what that game looks like on January 19th. But the next 3, it's now or never, Coach.
4 or 5 right there are very hard games. 4 out of 5.
Well, there's no easy games. This is an example of it.
Yeah.
You've got a team that's only won 2 games, but playing with some heart, some determination, and getting the reward tonight so far. Still a long way to go.
I still think they can get it done, though. I mean,
of course they can.
They got enough talent.
It's go time for the 36ers. What does it look like out of the timeout? A fumble from Robert Franks. Has just not been able to work his way into this game at all. Hickey, feet set. Misses. Johnson drags it in.
And they got to push like this every opportunity. And they've come up short, but like I said, in the half court, it's looked pretty static.
The Warriors got to be smart here because the clock's on their side.
Froling, nice look for Greeter. That doesn't go. Froling underneath misses as well. A couple of missed opportunities. Johnson steps inside, blocked by Hickey. Loose ball out for Clark. He hits the big 3. All happening now.
They still got a chance here. They're still in this.
And that's what they need. The way they give themselves a chance here is stops. They desperately need stops. And this was a good opportunity, and it was a fortunate miss because it kicked out to Clark. So instead of the 2, they pick up the 3.
Wow.
Antonius Cleveland comes out.
Timeout.
No timeout.
I don't know why I feel so tired after calling games like this. It just takes the energy from you, doesn't it?
We're not finished yet.
Huge implications, this one, for the Adelaide 36ers, you'd expect.
Harvey has 19 points. Doesn't get that to go. Johnson with a couple of big rebounds late in the game. Here's Cleveland. Got it!
That kid, I keep telling you guys.
Back-to-back threes. And eases the pressure ever so slightly for the Adelaide 36ers.
Very nearly came up with the steal too, Antonius Cleveland.
That'll only be their third team foul.
One did a full lap and stuck.
Yeah.
Some momentum in direction in favour of the home team. They still trail by 2. Cleveland, like Superman, diving through the air. Off to Johnson. He can't score. McCarron does. Tied at 89.
That timeout, Drew. That timeout.
And that desperation by Cleveland is exactly what the doctor and CJ ordered.
Cleveland's a machine.
He's up and in.
All over Tyler Harvey right now. No foul call. Johnson crashes the glass once more. Adelaide in possession. 90 seconds remaining to take the lead. Oh, yeah!
That's what I'm talking about right there. This is what they have to have, Drew.
Well, this can be a season-defining moment both ways. If they had to come away and lost this one, it would be season-defining. But to come back when all looked lost, 8 points down, 3 minutes to go, couple of threes, bit of transition action, and then the man who's been missing most of the game, Franks, knocks it down. Big-time moments for big-time players.
9-0 run for the Adelaide 36ers from the previous time out to this one.
And I'm giving them all to I'm giving it all to my man Cleveland because he's all over the place. Offensively, defensively, he's on the ground. He's blocking shots. He's getting to the basket. He's knocking down threes. And this is why this guy is quality.
15 points on 6 of 15 for Antonius Cleveland. 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. That's a full dance card right there.
That is a full dance.
Oh, it is.
What now for Illawarra?
Well, now it's trying to get back to do what they have been able to do. They've been really good in the on-ball situations, in the 2-on-2, getting to the rim. Weak side help for the Sixers have been a little bit wanting.
Let's get courtside to John Casey.
Jacob Jacomas telling his team during that timeout that they've worked too hard to let this one slip. They want the ball in the hands of Tyler Harvey to make the plays.
He's got 19 and is their leading scorer. And he's got Antonius Cleveland to deal with defensively. Conrad back into the game. Here is Harvey. Can't get that shot away.
Great D.
That is great defense. That is great defense. This is what they need.
For the work that Cleveland did to really make life tough for Harvey. Look at him shadowing him. Got over the top of the screen and there's a charge. DJ with some defense when it's needed the most.
You'd love to have just isolated Antonius Cleveland on that last play. Just watch him chase Tyler Harvey around. Phenomenal.
Couldn't even get a look at the basket. He's all over this guy.
We tick down to a minute remaining. Adelaide have come from 8 down and now lead this game 92-89. Franks, he's done it again.
Cool as the other side of the pillow.
Almost non-existent for the vast majority of the game. And he stepped out of bounds, and there's a turnover and a flex from McCarron.
Wow, what a turnaround.
And what about the atmosphere in the joint? 2.5 minutes ago, it was doom and gloom. You could have heard a pin drop. Now, the Six of Faithful are up and about and showing some respect for this team that has dug deep.
9,263 were in the house last round against Brisbane. It was a record for basketball in Adelaide for an NBL game. We're going to go very close to that again tonight.
They all love their 36ers, man. I've been there. I played there. I know how they can be. They get up for wins. They get up. They just want you to compete. And when a team's competing like this, they will get behind you.
Well, what they need to do is everyone in the joint should be shouting, that man in your screen. Cleveland has been inspirational at both ends of the floor, particularly the last 6 minutes. And when it got real nervous, it was Cleveland that was attacking the rim. He wasn't always making them, but just attacking the rim and
bringing the energy,
leading by example and bringing the energy.
Illawarra played for the steal and fouled Johnson in the process, and he's got free throws coming.
Well,
let it go.
Daniel Johnson, 82% from the line this season.
And you know what we got to do? We got to take our hats off to the Illawarra Hawks.
Absolutely.
The way in which they've played this. There was a team last night that hopefully is watching this and saying, hey,
call them out.
Things sometimes aren't going your way, but how are you going to approach a set of circumstances?
You continue to fight.
How are you going to? What sort of fight are you going to show? And we've seen it here from the Illawarra Hawks.
Yep, I agree. Great call.
Yep.
It might be a bridge too far. There's the forlorn look of Michael Frazier with a potential broken arm. Conrad, has that three jump out. Guess who's got it again? Cleveland off to the races. He's changed the game in the fourth quarter.
Certainly has. And this is the reason why I put him in that starting five, because it's not about the points. It's about the way he plays. He's one of the most unselfish players I've ever seen. Plays both ends of the floor and does what he needs to do to get the team to the next level.
Well, when his teammates were clearly tight, really, really tight, and the fear of failure was clearly visible, he was the one that stood out and led by example.
Illawarra led when the score was 89-81. They haven't scored since then. 17 unanswered points on the way home for Adelaide.
You can see that from here.
Frustration for Tyler Harvey, frustration for the Hawks. They've seen this game slip through their fingers. In a season of struggle, it could have been a real high point for them. Now, it's gone.
But Drew, you're right. They go back to the drawing board. They pat themselves on the back because they fought the whole game. All 40 minutes, they're in this game. They fought the whole game. So you got to pat yourselves on the back. I mean, not having a great year.
Given their circumstances, you lose Frazier. There's a lot of reasons why you can put this in the too hard basket and say enough's enough. But they continue to fight, and there, even the dying seconds, we see Harvey drilling another three.
More free throws for Johnson.
And a lot's been said about the Adelaide, in particular, their 36ers, and in particular in their defense. But in this last quarter, they've held, so far, the Illawarra Hawks to 17 points. 14 before that three. And they had 28 and 28 in the second and the third. And for a team that's given up a lot. They've given up 88, almost 89 points a game. And you look at it and you go, well, they had 92. But when it counted the most, when they got 8 down, and again, led by that man, Cleveland, they were able to crank up their D and get those stops when they needed it.
Well, I don't want to
So you know what happens here, Coach? They lose their excuse. They lose their excuse for why they can't do it all the game. Once you've demonstrated that you can do it, you lose your excuse for why you shouldn't be doing that all the time.
Every game, you're right. I don't want to take any credit here, but I did say when CJ calls that standing timeout, things will change.
Yeah, he did.
As soon as he called it,
things changed.
I'm sure he had a couple of choice words for these guys. Like, what do you want to fly, business class or economy?
Ding, ding, fouled late.
Blue, 22 underneath the shooter.
Harris.
Done that twice.
Third landing space, yeah.
But the team, they've probably done that 3 or 4 times, and there he is. And that's a foul. 100%. That is a foul. You're not allowed to get in that landing space, so just got to go run, jump by him. And that's where...
You're not going to block his shot anyway.
But you just got to go by. You can't just go up to him, and you've got to change your technique. You've got to practice it. You've got to teach it, and you've got to make the adjustments. Now, it's been 3 or 4, a few years now since that rule, a couple of years that rule come in. Yeah. So maybe it takes a little time for players that have come through and normally doing things the way they've done for years. You've just got to make some changes.
Certainly tried his hardest tonight, Deng Deng.
He's done well.
On paper, if you didn't watch this game, you would see that Illawarra go down by possibly 5 and think that's a good performance. That'll be no consolation to them.
This was a very good game by Illawarra. They have nothing to be ashamed about. Scored 95 points.
You say the same about them. The thing that they did when it was mattering the most is that their defense, they weren't able to get those stops. And it wasn't just the stops in the half court, it was that offensive transition of the Adelaide 36ers, because in the half court, they seem to be not too bad.
Tomorrow in the Hungry Jacks NBL, Tasmania will be up first. They'll host Melbourne United in the early game, and then Sydney and Perth at Kudos Bank Arena. That is a massive, massive game, massive day. Implications for both of those. Tasmania trying to secure 5th or 6th spot. Melbourne are outside of that bracket, so every game is virtually an elimination final for them. And then Sydney and Perth could be anything.
2 very good games tomorrow. I'm down in Hobart tomorrow.
Are you?
Yes, I am. Sideline.
You're making your presence felt.
Been a couple of decades since I've been in Tasmania. But
love it. Love Tasmania. One of the most beautiful states in this great country of ours.
Why don't you go down with him tomorrow and do clubs?
I'd love to.
Would you?
I'd love to, but no invitation forthcoming, so we'll leave it over to Copes.
We'll leave it like that, bro.
And you'll enjoy it.
Oh, you'll love it down there, Copes. You'll have a great time.
Beautiful, beautiful state.
And on Sunday, Adelaide in action again on this floor at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. They host the New Zealand Breakers, which, in light of them winning tonight, becomes an even bigger game for them. And Cairns and South East Melbourne in the second game on Sunday. It's an enormous weekend here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Couch potatoes dream if you're not getting along to a game.
Ooh. Really got to be careful.
Yeah, this one, we're talking like this one's over. There's still enough time.
No, Copes.
Joey, what do you mean?
Not now.
So
just needs to make one of these.
Again, if he makes them, okay. He misses.
There's not enough time, Cope. Even if he misses both.
Huh?
No timeouts.
Joey, obviously you guys haven't seen me play. I get set up, bro.
Go down, get a 3, and then
quick
get a
foul.
Steal, and then another 3.
What do you think, you're Reggie Miller?
Get it up, son. I can get it up.
That's what Michael Frazier thinks about your point.
Hang on,
He's laughing at me.
Added an extra 0.4 on the clock, it looks like.
There you go.
Still can't be done.
As Drimmick comes up with it. Adelaide were down, but they weren't out. And the playoff dream lives on for the 36ers.
That is a very good win for these guys. A very good win for them.
103-95. It took everything they had.
It is, and that'd be a huge sigh of relief from CJ Bruton, because they were 1 or 2 possessions away from saying this one's too hard. It was all over. And they found a way. That timeout that you referred to, Copes, just provided a bit of advice. The intensity raised, and that man right there If he is not the Foot Locker player, yes, he is. He's the Foot Locker player of the game. 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Now, the numbers do not reflect exactly his contribution in a time of crisis for the 36ers.
20-6 run home for the Adelaide 36ers. Gets the job done. They go to 10-10 on the season. Winners tonight over the Illawarra Hawks. We're back to wrap it up after this in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Another history-making night at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. A record crowd of 9,308 in the house to see a big-time comeback from the Adelaide 36ers. They win 103-95. They scored 20 of the last 26 points in the game.
It was an incredible comeback. You could have ridden your own ticket on the 36ers with, 3.5 minutes to go, 8 points down. And then the standing time out, and this man on your screen, Antonius Cleveland, he was special. He set the tone on the defensive end and really did some things in transition that just eased the tension, built some confidence, and they came away with a fantastic win.
That is going to take Adelaide to 5th on the ladder. They will host the New Zealand Breakers on Sunday, which is a big, big game. A reminder, we've got Tasmania and Melbourne tomorrow and Sydney and Perth coming up as well. But that will see us out for tonight. We need to go and have a lay down after that one. On behalf of Copes, Gazy, John Casey and all of our team behind the scenes, thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.